Oh, so funny because I'm seeing more people. But it looks like they're in a different one. It's very strange. Hold on. There was only the one link. That's why I'm curious why they're in this one. I'm going to end this and then you guys could get back in it, I guess. Hold on. I'm sorry. Hello? Hi, if everyone can hear me, could you unmute your microphone? It seems like I'm having a strange technical problem.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, all right.
Samantha.
Hi, everybody. So let me just message these other people because there's something funny that's going on in here.
Hi, Sam.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay, just having technical difficulties.
Okay.
Fun. Okay, I think, so start video here. Let's see here. Sorry. Can't see anybody. Can you guys see me? Hi, can everybody see me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Okay, so gonna, sorry guys. And then can you guys see the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so as soon as Lisa gets here, it should work. Checking on. Sorry, thank you everybody for being so patient.
No problem.
How's everybody dealing with everything?
You know, just trying to keep moving.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just waiting 1 minute. Okay, so Lisa,
Hi.
hi. Okay, now I can see you. So, I think we need to send, I don't know how just you and Dawn got that one link. It's very strange. Let me just find Dawn. All right, but I guess we can start.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so hi. If everyone can share who's on, that would be great. I see one person here. So did you want to reshare Samantha with Dawn?
I'm working on that. I don't see her in the original, so I think you sent her the invite.
Okay.
So possibly you could.
Okay, great. So, all right. And how many people are on? Just so you know, I don't see.
Can we start? We have 8.
Okay, great. So yeah, I'm gonna, if you want to start, and I'll send her that.
Okay. All right. Sorry guys, I'm having a little weird little echo situation right now. Basically, I wanted to do this. I know a lot of people are probably a little bit nervous about the industry, and I know just for a while the fashion industry has been up and down, and it's been a really changing thing. So I want to make sure everybody's doing some things that are, I know, can help you really build your business. And so for those of you who don't know me, I used to work with Lisa at Elliot. I ran the first fashion incubator in New York about 10 years ago. I've worked with both European and with domestic brands. I've sold to pretty much everything. And I started my own agency about 2 years ago. A lot of what I've been focusing on is a lot of lifestyle brands, a lot of things that ship immediately, things that can add in to make people's assortment a little bit more interesting, that's a little easier to sell sometimes than clothes. But I still do work in the apparel. Lisa?
Hi, and I'm Lisa. So I have a showroom, EM Productions, as well as I co-founded a show, O2, which is an ethically made show. And Samantha and I used to work together at EM Productions, and we built a lot of strong lines in the industry from Mara Hoffman, Ace and Jig, Arrow, Zadig and Voltaire, and several others. And we wanted to get on this call, same reason Samantha said, is just to check in where everyone's at and give them a brief, scope of the overall kind of industry point of view, and to help see and guide where you guys are at right now during this time and moving forward, because things will eventually pass and change. So we want to be here to check in with you guys. So that is why we are doing this, and we have a limited time, so we are just going to get started. And if there's questions, you can put it in the chat, and we'll have about 10 minutes at the end to answer any questions that you guys have. So the first thing that we're going to start with is building a profitable brand, and we'll go through the slideshow with you and be able to kind of run through this with you. And we're going to start out here on a few major discussion points. The first thing that we're going to be looking at today is your brand identity, and that would be the most important thing overall as a brand, because discussing here is how to build a brand. So you want to, really look at what is your point of view? How do you stand out from others? What do people come to you for? We have some examples of a brand identity, and Samantha can run through that with you. And we won't have all the logos on there, but just to see if you can identify with these products, whether it be from a logo or, this would be the first one here.
Yeah, so I just wanted to, one of the things that I've just noticed working with a lot of startup brands, especially in their first couple of years, is you want to make something that's identifiable. And I mean, we have all discussed things about like the market that it's not great to have like logos on everything. That's hurt the price. I mean, like right now, very currently, there has been a trend in logos, but in general, you want to be able to portray who you are without having to blast it all over. So some of the examples that I included are, one, Golden Goose. I feel like everybody in here would recognize Golden Goose in a minute. So it's really easy. See, I see a chat. I see also, does anyone want to guess which brand this is? Right, it might not be the easiest one. That's Eero. This is Ace and Jig. Lisa actually has started started with them from the very beginning.
Yeah, and so one thing that you want to see within all the brands that we just looked at is that there's a cohesive consistency, and they know what it is that makes up 80% of their sales. That's the most important thing to really look at here. If you look at Ace and Jig, their tagline is textile love story. So they are known for their textiles. Arrow, they have a huge, massive line. 80% of their sales are from the jacket that you saw earlier in the slide, the one before here, or their leather jackets. Those are like their two key selling, their bread and butter, their cash cow. And then you have before that Golden Goose. They have other items within their collection, but this is their bread and butter. This is what makes up their sales. So it's really important to note the 80-20 rule and what makes up why people are coming to you. You can expand and add other categories or add other styles, but knowing your, I would say, cash cow, like what is that? What is it that people are identifying the most with you?
Yeah, sorry. So then I'm multitasking, so I'm admitting people as they're coming in. Sorry, guys. So yeah, you want your key products, you want your margin builders, you want to really have a story, and you want both your clothes and your advertising images to really convey that. You want to know like what your online image looks like and have it be distinctive. Like if people were to go onto your webpage, even if you did not put up your logo, how are people going to know that it's you? And I know that it takes a little bit of time, but that's why it's important not to be everything to everyone. I find a lot of people when they're starting out, they get a lot of feedback from people, and they get they start to become too many things. I even see it with bigger brands. But you really want to be true to your story. And one of the big things, whether you're a store, Lisa and I had a really great example that we were talking about that I had put in, but I guess some of my technical difficulties, it didn't end up in here. We were discussing one of the things, Nasty Gal. Nasty Gal started out very strong. It had a very strong presence. It knew who its customers were. It knew where it went, but it suddenly tried to be too many people, too many girls, and it really hurt. That's what really hurt the business.
They started off with like a millennial demographic and known for its like sexier kind of way of dressing. And then at one point they came into our showroom and they said, we're actually going to additionally start adding on higher end brands, higher end lines. And that really wasn't their customer. So you really want to identify with who is my customer? Who is my demographic? Who is the girl? Where is she wearing it? What age is she? Where does she shop? What does she like to do? Can she identify with my lifestyle that I'm portraying? And because every piece of information that you put out there, from newsletters to your website to your e-commerce to social media, that's all messages you're conveying to your demographic. So really keying in on that and your point of view is the first step, and really staying true to that voice while being flexible in the market to know, oh, I want, like with Ace and Jig, they had like a heavier weight fabrics in the beginning. And we just said, keep your textiles, but can you make them lighter weight? Can you add dresses with more waist? That's being flexible while still keeping with the point of view of my strength is my textiles.
Sorry, I got carried away with the hitting the buttons. So yeah, one of the main things though too, and I also I have this problem a lot. Well, when a brand is starting out, I get a lot of people that really they don't necessarily know who their is. You need to know, like, where is she? Where does she eat? Who does she talk to on the weekend? Like, where is she going? Where is she brunching? How old is she? It's not necessarily an age thing. It's more of a, like, what's her mentality? I mean, there are 30-year-olds that have the mentality of a 20-year-old, but if you're trying to sell to a 20-year-old and a 50-year-old, like in the stereotypical mentality, it's not going to work. Like when people say, oh, my girl is an age. No, she really isn't. What is her emotional age? Like, what does she do? Like, where is she in her game plan of life? Is she a student? Is she just starting out her career? Is she a mother? All of these things. Where does she live is a big thing too. And I really feel like what's going on here is going to just even push some more regional style. Like, there's been a big local movement, and I think that for too long, big department stores, and this is part of what's really been hurting them, is they don't cater necessarily to their weather group, their like demographic. They're just shipping for the same stores. I think a really good example, Lisa, we could talk about was Nordstrom. Nordstrom, when they bought Rachel Antonoff, they bought for all of their hot weather doors, their top producing doors, but they bought wool sweaters and wool pants. And I said, where are your top 5 doors? And they're like, Arizona, Dallas. It's like they weren't really buying for their market. Really need to think about where your girl lives. I've also seen a big rise with like the cruise wear and the vacation wear, the endless summer wear. That's because it's really hot.
Yeah, and I mean, and knowing, definitely knowing, can you hear me now? Because I just got a chat that my voice was soft. Can you hear me? Samantha, am I clear?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just got a chat. And if you have me that you can really just me talking, Samantha, that would be great because I don't think anyone can see me, but I'm going to speak louder.
Oh, I can see you, Lisa. Every time you can see you.
Okay.
We
So
have
maybe just attaching on to that, what Samantha's saying is there's a few key retailers besides the Nasty Girl example of stores that really do know their customer. And 2 of those that I wanted to mention, one is Goop and one is Revolve. 2 totally different customers, but Goop knows exactly who their customer is. It's the Gwyneth Paltrow. She's, a mom. She's, still can work and go out. And then the Revolve is your younger millennial that dresses a little sexier. So they both are doing very well in the valuation. Of course, now there's a specific time period, but in general, they're both doing very well because they've stayed true to their customer. And that is so key. And the geographic areas that Samantha was mentioning is really owning into, if it's a department store, major writing, knowing like on their locations in geographic areas besides their online, who it is that you're selling and kind of helping the buy within the sales. So really, looking at the time periods and the locations that department stores are buying, because sometimes it's just they're not specifically looking at the dates and knowing at retail to the end consumer that we're all related. It's all related, and that's very key to help identify that and help kind of guide them within their buys.
All right, and so I'm a big believer in you can't just have one channel to be selling, especially in this market. So you want to make sure that you're properly diversifying. I feel like 10 years ago, you could do like 90% of your wholesale. I don't feel like it was. 10 years ago, 90, 100% of your wholesale could be your business, and you could have a multi-million-dollar business with that. But that hasn't really been for quite a while. You need to, I talk to so many designers that they're e-com is an afterthought. Your e-com really needs to be something that you're putting up there. You're putting up front and center. And that's one of the reasons that I said before too, you want to know who your girl is, what she's doing on the weekend. She has a whole lifestyle. So if you don't have a big enough brand to be having 100% e-com on your brand, diversify, partner with things that you know that your customer would also like. Like, it's a really great time for collaborations, and it's becoming a lot more important than it used to be. It's a lot easier to do than it used to be. I feel like right now people are definitely ready to collaborate, anything that's going to get things moving, but you want to be smart and you want to be strategic with your brand and your collaborations. You want to make sure that you're going to get in front of as many eyes, and the collaborations are going to be mutually beneficial. So some of the things so one of the important things is doing a direct to wholesale, direct to client, but you'd still want to do physical stores. If it's not wholesale, it's pop-ups, which could be, again, another direct to client. Where does your girl shop? Like, make sure that you're reaching out to those stores. If they're not ready to invest in you yet, make things sexy for people. Like, I hear a lot of people that call up and or say, oh, I called the store and they said no, I offered them consignment. Well, just offering them consignment really isn't making it that sexy for them. Like, propose something. Hey, I love your store. I know your customers would love my brand. I propose to have a champagne night. I'm going to bring 5 people. We don't have to only focus on my brand. How can I make this? Like, a big part of everything that you do in life really is sales, and you can't just ask people for things. You have to offer something first. And this is more than ever a time to get inventive, especially when this thing ends. People are going to be ready to go to their favorite restaurants again. They're going to be ready to shop. They're going to be so tired of sweatpants. Like, if you're sitting around and thinking that you're going to do an athleisure collection for next season, you really should put a pin in that, because people are going to be tired of wearing their athleisure for however many months this is going to go on. Like, start to think about how you're making it jazzier. Like, I really think that dressing up has been making an entree back into the scene, and I think this is just going to make it even stronger.
And right now, it's a great time also to connect with your customers. There's a lot of newsletters major brands, whether it be Mara Hoffman or Ozma, a lot of great brands right now, sending out key newsletters to their stores and their clients, because at the end, like Samantha was saying, the channels are all related. So if you have a demand from your e-commerce, from building your social and your newsletters and that media, then there's a demand for your name. You're building a brand name, and that relates to the stores, because then the retailers are knowing your name and you're going to create a demand for your line. Right now, it's a great time to connect. And there's an example of Garrett Lee. He is a designer right now in the industry, does glasses, and he is doing these live Instagrams every day now at 5 p.m., kind of doing a dance routine for clients, because he's like a cool California guy, and it just goes along with his culture. So also knowing what your culture is, like, what are you portraying? What message are you portraying to your customers and your stores, and what caring message can you send out now that is going to be relevant to these times and in the future?
So yeah, I feel like we kind of skipped over the sales strategy. I think that is one thing that Lisa and I can go on for days and days with you, and we can do another follow-up talk, or if you want to talk to us privately, just know, like, wholesale. If you have something and you have like a lot of designers that I talk to are so great at sourcing. Is there something on your line that you could offer private label? How are you going to get in front of people? Is it time for you to open up a storefront? Or if you have a storefront, how are you diversifying your storefront? I know that there's a couple store owners that are on here too. Like, this is a great time for you guys to be starting on thinking about finding manufacturers that can be making something special for you. Manufacturers are going to be ready to get some work done. So this is a great time to find somebody. Hey, can you do a 50-piece order? There's it's a lot easier than it used to be. yeah, to make sure that you have your social media presence on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, really put up tight. I also have a great PR person that could really help you with your visual strategy. I'll send you out a recommendation. Lisa's been doing things with a really great social media strategy house that we can always give you recommendations for these things. But you need to be consistent yet authentic. You can't just feel like it's something that you've just posted a bunch of things. It needs to be speaking to your brand, but you need to be constantly putting your content into the world. A very, very, very important thing that I think that I don't see enough brands. Actually, when I looked on YouTube, I didn't see hardly any brands that are on YouTube. Most of the content that people are looking at is video. Are you making videos of your brand? How are you talking to your customers? Especially right now, you have a captive audience. Like, so many people I'm talking to in all walks of life are going to YouTube to find resources that they like. They're just also, YouTube's got some awesome videos. They have their own content. You need to be adding videos to your, and also, are you on TikTok? Are you on TikTok? Have you put videos on Instagram? People are watching them. One thing to remember, if you do make a video with words, most videos are watched on silent. There's some really great programs that you can get to have subtitles. They're free, but video is an extremely, extremely important aspect of your marketing strategy.
And on the marketing, on another scale on that, one of the other things that you definitely want to do is you want to sign up so you can get the analytics. So you can see there's services that you can sign up with, that you can see the demographics of, like, you know, where are the locations, and where are, you know, these living, where are, you know, what is their age range, and then you'll be able to identify and not guess who your actual customer is. You know, whether it's a store, whether you're a retailer, or if you're a designer.
And then also, I know everybody's getting too much email right now. And I will say that it's been great to see a lot of people writing these very sympathetic emails, and it's important. But and I think this is a bigger problem for designers, and I think it's why they outsource their sales. And I'm a huge believer that in your first couple of years, you should be so involved with your sales. You should be a salespeople person, or if you're not, you need to have someone so married to your brand selling it for you that they know your message in and out. But when you're sending these messages and you're keeping up with your content, don't forget that you sell stuff too. Like, put it in there. Like, hey, I have these crazy, I think Ula Johnson's been doing a great job with her, like, fancy sweatshirts and things like that. Like, you want to make it a combination of compassionate, but also there are still people with money that are sitting around and don't have anything to do. Like, I'm looking all the time at, like, people's purchases online. They're buying like 500 things from Amazon. They could be buying things from you. Just think of what in your collection people need, and really don't forget that you sell things.
Right. Right now, you know, there's the stores, and the stores, if there's any retailers on here, also having that, you know, knowing, like, right now, what brands can I, you know, pull people in with first, and then show them the other things that I have here, as well as for lines. It's also that 80/20, like, what right now during these times do I have within my collection that I can, you know, send a link to and share on social, that is, like, these key styles that people will be buying into now, and then, you know, be able to expand on. So it's really key to, like, really connect with your customers again, and knowing exactly the time period we're at, and what is it that they're looking for. So the analytics on that again are key.
Yeah, and I think it's an important time for you guys. If you have if unfortunately, if you're stuck with inventory that people haven't taken in, or you have some things that you've been working on, don't stop working. There's going to be people that are just like, I feel like these kind of situations, it's when the fighters really, like, step themselves up and keep fighting. So it's just very important to just not stop. Relook at your line. What could you repurpose for your next delivery? What should you possibly try to work back into another collection to try to sell and to call them never out of stock items? It's been a big trend in Europe and in the Middle East for a few years. I'm always getting like from Harvey Nichols Dubai and all of these Middle Eastern European stores ask me, what are my never out of stock items? Like if there's things that you're sitting on that you know are going to be eternal classics, keep those. We're in the age of slow fashion. This is the time that you can really
Repurpose.
use those, repurpose.
And then we have a question here. Do you think wholesale buyers would be scared to take a risk on new brands post the virus during a possible recession? That's one of the questions here that came up. There are, we've gone through this before in 2008, of course, a different circumstance as far as the recession. And I had a line Veda at the time that launched right after that, and no one knew about the brand, and people were so excited about it because it was a no-brainer, easy to wear leather jacket line. We built it over time, but if you have something that, of course, people are going to go with their name brands, of course, but at the same time, there is always openings for other brands that they don't know about.
I think that the main thing really, and I think it's what kills a lot of brands, is brands aren't made overnight. Like what Lisa just said about Veda, like Veda wasn't made overnight. Like it actually 5 years later, or when you started hearing about it, you need to have reserves and you need to have the grit to stay in it, stay true to your voice, and make sure that you just keep on going. Like if you research most of your favorite brands, I will guarantee you, unless they came from brands that I've seen that are the exception to the rule are brands that are started by advertisers. I have no idea. Like brands that are started by advertisers are really good at being instant overnight successes. Like I worked with Sutterheim. Like Sutter is a great example of like where the hell did that come from to like every single store. Like there's a lot of examples of that. But most of the brands that you look at didn't just become an overnight sensation. It's like everything in every entrepreneurial endeavor that you're going to encounter, you have to put in the work. You have to make sure that the stores, I know Nyla, the person that asked, she knows stores need to see you 3 or 4 times sometimes. And that's why it's also really important that you're building your community. And it's easier than ever to be doing that. Are there more questions? Okay. I saw you talking, Lisa.
One of the things I was also going to say is, with that one question, do you think wholesale buyers would be scared to take on? I think one thing it's really important if you're selling on your own or if you have a showroom, however you are selling to your wholesale customer, is to really specifically know who is the right store for you rather than a mass email or a mass, like really owning in on, okay, these are my 40 specialty stores and here's my 3 majors that I want to be in that I really feel is the right fit for the look, the imaging, the line, the product, the price. Yes, this is the girl, this is my store. So that's super important to have that knowledge and go, towards that, and not be scattered and be very specific and owning into that.
And then does anyone else have any questions? Oh, I see.
Okay, so do you think the resort market in June might not happen, and what would be the consequences? I actually just spoke with Cabana today, which is a huge, show. I just was on the phone with her, and she asked me if we should push it back because July might not even happen. So I said, yeah, she might push it to August or September. So things are getting pushed back now a bit, like pre-fall and fall shipments are getting pushed, and resort it's looking like it's going to get pushed. So I'm telling my lines to show in June in resort, and let's take it day by day to see when this virus ends. But at the same time, if they're not doing a new resort season, let's repurpose fall because that didn't get a fair shot, and see what we get into that season. If factories are closed right now, they can't produce a new season. We can edit their fall and re-show it in an edited version for holiday or resort.
Yeah, and I think that that's honestly something that a lot of people have to end up doing, unfortunately. Oh, there's another.
Yeah, we're running out of time, right, Samantha? I just want to make sure we get to
Oh, we got actually a little more time because
good.
Zoom gifted us more time. So do we plan to do a digital showroom? Do you plan to do a digital showroom for Resort, Lisa?
Well, actually, I am launching an online trade show with O2. Those are all ethically made brands, and it will be purely like online. So that's going to be launching probably in the next month. And
Yeah, and we haven't even talked about O2. This since we got the extra time, you should tell everybody because it's a really exciting show.
yeah, I mean, what it is O2 is we just launched in March in LA, and it's something that we were planning for a while. It didn't happen overnight. And mainly it is a trade show that is all ethically made brands. So it doesn't have to be B Corps or all sustainable, but it's all ethically made brands. And so that just means either, you know, the factory has been checked on, and there's no slave workers or, you know, mainly that. As far as sustainability or B Corp, that's a whole other conversation I won't go into now, but if, you know, that can be part of this as well. And so we decided to launch this with Branson. We're partnering with them and we'll be taking it all online. And there's several designers very excited about it. So that, you know, as far as the showroom virtually online, our showroom works a lot with Jour. And that's pretty much, you know, I've talked to Jour about incorporating video. They don't have that yet. They are partnering with Order, which is this online company based in Australia. And within the next month, that's going to be launching. And what that is a 360 degree, you know, 360 degree of the clothing. So you can see it at all angles or whatever product it is. They're doing like the luxury market now. So for our showroom, you know, I'm not building out my own platform because we work with Jour and they already have the platform done and people can order that way. But sales is still needed. Sales is, even if you go online virtually, there's so much competition and saturation, but you still either need to sell it yourself or have a salesperson or showroom that is talking and emailing the stores and calling them.
And that's a big thing. Well, there's two points that I want to make. So with our extra time, one is when you go to a showroom, you just can't go to a showroom and expect, a trade show, and expect that you're going to get automatic orders if you haven't put in the time to be contacting all of your targets, to let them know that you're there, to let them know that you're launching a new brand, to let them know that trade show's job is not to give you customers. Trade show job is to attract customers to their show. It's your job to bring them to your booth. You really need to be putting in the work. And this, again, is a great time to connect with people that they're having a little more time. I've gotten more responses from stores in the last couple of weeks than I've gotten for forever. A lot of them is, I'll say, hey, I just want you to know what I have. I know that you might not be in the position to buy right now, but I'd love for you to look at the line while you have time. Some of these will be, and you need to, when you're forming your sales letters and you're forming your sales communications, you need to hold their hand for them to tell them why they need to buy your product. That's a big part of it. We need to develop a sales language. In developing a sales language, there's a lot of like the theory of reciprocity. You give them something, you're helping them, you're giving them education, you're telling them, hey, these are the customers that I already know in your demographic that like this brand. And just really make sure that you're appealing to their wallet and appealing to letting them know that you have their customer is your customer. Are there any other? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, and there's so many case studies on Samantha's saying, because I've seen it time and time again. Like we had a line, Joa Brown, in our showroom, and people would come in. It's a T-shirt line out of Santa Barbara, and they have great marketing, and they know who their customer is. But buyers would come in and say, "Oh, we're covered. We already have T-shirts." And the person that was working there was very passionate and enthusiastic, and that's so key, and really believed in the brand, and would say, I know you have T-shirts, but you don't have this. You got to feel and touch it. Come over here, feel and touch it. And then they would feel it and he'd say, this is not like any other line. The material is so soft. It's the softest cotton you'll ever feel. And then they were hooked in. And it actually did sell for them. So it was a win-win. But when buyers are oversaturated and seeing so much product and being sold to, they're going to connect even with a new brand that they're not buying on a niche point or a pain point that they're not getting, or that might better them and make it exciting. At the end of the day, it's about profit and sales. So if you can connect with them as a human on that way first, which is so important, and then break the ice, and then connect with them on why they need this and why, and it's a gift to them, and you're choosing them because you're have a whole amount of stores that you can sell to, but you think that they're the right fit because of X, and Y.
Yeah. Okay. So are there any other questions before we go? All right. Everybody's muted and silenced. I feel like I don't even know if we're speaking to anyone. Does anyone have anything they'd like to say? Yeah. All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. That was great. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Samantha and Lisa. That was great.
Yeah, I'll send you some info, and I'm gonna send you some of the links that I mentioned during this. But I'll also make sure that you have mine and Lisa's information if you have any more questions, and we'll be possibly with some other content.
Awesome.
And thank you guys.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too.
Oh, O2 is the name of the trade show. O2. I'll
Right.
send you that.
Cool.
Okay. All right.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Where's those sleep meeting?
You're not getting sick, are you?
I've been sick.
Oh, honey, I hope you're okay.
Yeah, I'm trying. This I was like debating. I've been planning this for so long. I was like debating, should I cancel this tonight? But yeah. Thank you. Okay, everybody, I'm gonna email you. Thank you again for coming.